It's 8:46, and we have on the air with us right now Senior Planner for the City of Shelton, Jason Dose.
Good morning.
How you doing, Jace?
I'm doing excellent.
It's been a while since we've seen you here on the Daybreak program.
It has. They're keeping a short leash on me. They keep me far away from the public.
Because they listened to your last shows on the Daybreak program.
Like,
all right, so Jason's here today. We're going to get an update on Sierra Pacific, but also we need to get some clarification here because we were talking just off the air about the fire at the old Hotel Cameron there at 2nd and Grove. Burnt down 2 weeks ago, something like that. It'll be 2 weekends ago.
Was it that long ago? Good Lord, time flies.
So basically what we're, in the story that we talked about, we mentioned that this was on the list. This was one of 2 buildings that were like the, what is it? The poster child.
Children.
Okay, good.
Oh, yes.
The poster children for neglected whatevers.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I've been here for 10 years. I was on the air the morning that the bowling alley burned down, and you mentioned the bowling alley in your story. But that's not what I'm thinking about.
It's absolutely, and as I had mentioned when we were discussing, maybe I've been here too long. I'm now referring to these buildings like, it's by the old red barn that used to be there, that was by Skip's old, whatever. This is the big wooden structure that's kind of across First Street from the fire station, in between Domino's and Happy Garden.
Okay.
It's the old bowling alley. That thing used to be the bowling alley in town. A lot of people don't know that, but it's one of the things I've learned. But that is probably a number one.
Now number one.
Now number one. It was a close first or second between that and the brick building over there. And it is unfortunate that building came down, but it's all on the owner. I mean, in my humble opinion, the owner absolutely neglected that building.
You find that guy yet?
I believe the police chief was able to speak with him. I left several messages. I know the fire chief did, and
not until the chief of police calls. That's when the phone call.
I heard that through the grapevine. I still have not heard from the owner.
Do you know the owner of this Red Barn building?
Yeah, and to my knowledge, they've been cooperative in the sense that they agree. I mean, that is what's best for the building, but it is quite an expensive demolition. So that's the struggle right now. We're working with them, trying to figure out a equitable way to deal with the structure. And there's a couple leads, is my understanding. So hopefully this summer we can see something happen with that, because it really, the fire at that brick building to me kind of raises some alarms with that building, because at least the brick building was a standalone structure and no structures in real close proximity. Not the same story with that wooden structure there. It's literally built right up to the walls of adjacent structures. So that is a concern.
Huh. You're actually on the air today to talk about Sierra Pacific.
That's right. We are, I've been working on that one since last summer. We issued a SEPA determination for demolition of most of the standing structures out there. And then we did a SEPA, State Environmental Policy Act. It's the environmental review, required at the state level prior to doing land use permitting and building permitting. We did the SEPA for the construction of new structures late in the year, or maybe around Christmas-ish, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We did the first step in land use permitting earlier this year, site plan review, which got approved. That was reported on. And then we just held the hearing for the final piece, the shoreline permitting portion, a week and a half ago on Monday. So just awaiting the hearings examiner's decision on that. And we look to be moving forward with the new mill. And as far as I know, they are on schedule. So 2017, they're looking to open.
I mean, that's 6 months from now. I get what you're saying, but that's quick.
It is very quick.
I like it.
That's what they're saying. Well, 2017 is a 12-month.
That's true. You're right.
Period. I didn't say January 1st.
And you have to be careful what you say, because you will be quoted, such as poster child of...
It is the poster child. You can quote me on that. You can put my face next to it.
Did I hear the pilings going in yesterday when I was walking around? Those are still going around?
They've been going in for probably a good month or so now, and that's just in prep for the foundation and for the equipment foundations that go in. And then the building kind of goes up around that. So it's quite an amazing construction process. I mean, it's an industrial facility.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to watch. I've been out there a couple times, looking at a few things as we move through the process, and you know, it is. I don't know how to describe it, but I mean, it's impressive. There's a lot of moving pieces, and they all kind of move in parallel on different tracks. Like they've literally got their machine shop up, and it's the former Simpson machine shop, up and running, literally building mill parts. I mean, they fabricate a lot of their own mill parts. I mean, I don't know too much.
Yeah, okay.
To the savvy mill operator, I'll sound kind of silly, but they're literally making like their log carriers and handlers and all this stuff that's going to be ferrying lumber through the mill, and they do it right there.
And it's on site already, so you don't have to travel in.
And my understanding is they've actually brought on a few of the graduates of the Shelton College welding program, you know, because they work in CNC machining and welding and all this stuff, and so yeah, it seems like a viable avenue for a few people that go through the local program to get some work.
Our news director did a video on that welding program. Pretty sharp. Pretty cool stuff.
It is. I had a friend I used to surf with way back in the 80s, and he was a machine shop teacher, and he was doing the early, what they call CNC machining, you know, with the computerized stuff that carves out different pieces, and that's really come a long way, because I looked at the piece of machinery SPI has out there to do the big mill pieces, and it's nothing like he was using in his high school metal shop, you know. It was just an astronomically bigger version, and it's neat. I mean, I like that stuff.
Well, Jason, you're going to have to come back and talk to us more about the growth of Shelton here in a little while. See some other news coming down the pike. If you got it, come by and talk with us.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're close to time.
Got a little
Is
bit
that
of
what's
time.
going on?
No, we sometimes often get off track towards these parts of the interview, so I just wanted to make sure that...
Well, there's a lot of paint brushes moving, a lot of hammers swinging. I mean, it's a fairly busy season. And, you know, an unfortunate side effect is we're getting a little backed up on building permits, so that's getting us a few complaints. But it's a good thing as well. I mean, to be backed up on building permits, that means there's building permits coming in. It's bad because growing up, doing retail, it's all about customer service, you know, and when you're not providing the customer service, that's a little frustrating. But we're plugging them through as quick as we can.
How many? Can you tell me how many?
I have no idea how many.
You just
to
know
be
that
honest,
there's
it's
a lot.
A lot.
Well, that's
my
good.
Official
It's encouraging.
Assessment. It is.
Encouraging.
I mean, you see it all up and down Coda. You go up Coda Street, the church is doing their big facelift. We've got the old Olson building currently getting a renovation going. Miguel's Las Palmas building, inside and out, got redone. The old Mason Hotel, see, I'm all the old thing next to Phil's old place, at the corner of Front and Railroad, that has a new owner, and he's starting to complete that renovation that kind of, the financing fell through in the late 2000s of one of the previous owners. And it kind of has just sat there in a 40% state of renovation since about 2008, 2009. So new owners purchased that, and if you go look at it, it's looking quite nice now. And he hasn't started any of the interior yet, but he's finished a lot of the exterior. So
is that the Webb Hotel building? Is that one?
I don't know if that's
the name of it?
What it's...
Where the old Vern's used to be?
I don't know. See, now you're sounding like...
Front and Railroad. I don't know.
So you're talking about all the new business coming in, and you used to be on the show talking about how you would walk to work and you'd pick up litter on your way to work. How's the streets looking?
The same. It's unfortunate. It's a daily occurrence. It is, I walk 1.29 miles, I think, at last read off my Fitbit. And it is a Safeway bag a day. And it varies from, you know, Bud Light guy seems to have slowed down. I don't find as many. And peach schnapps person, that I don't find as many as those either. So clearly they're working on their habit.
I think you're new. Are you new to these characters that Jason runs across? You know them? The peach schnapps?
He's been talking about
I used to find in almost the same places, in almost, you know, the same locations on every day of the week, these Bud Light bottles, and then little peach schnapps, single serve things, you know, and that's slowed down a lot. But
good.
it's, I think rock star drinker person has picked up the slack, and
So bottles and cans are the most
bottles,
prevalent.
cans, plastic bags,
Yeah.
cigarette butts. You find car parts. You'd be surprised. Gloves, sunglasses.
Well,
Random cell phone now and again that's been crushed by cars going over it. I think people leave them on their roof. And
oh yeah, drive off.
Yeah.
I've done that before. 8:56. Jason, we're going to wrap it up here. See you at the Forest Festival this weekend, I'm sure.
I'll actually be at a soccer tournament in Redmond.
Whoa, you're going to miss. It's going to be 100,000 degrees outside. It's going to be awesome for you.
I just have to watch. It is my daughter playing.
Oh, good.
I will not be exerting myself to any degree, hopefully.
Jason Doe, Senior Planner for the City of Shelton during this Focus on Shelton, sponsored by our Community Credit Union.
Thank you very much.
Our community is more than just houses and buildings and streets. It's the people who live here, who work here, that make it a community. That also includes the class of 2016. Graduation Matters Shelton and iFiber One News Radio want to congratulate the class of 2016 and encourage each student continued success in their journey as they prepare for life after high school.
This is Kathy. The best way to keep current on local news and issues is by subscribing to the Mason County Journal. The importance of subscribing to the paper hit home when the marijuana businesses started cropping up in local neighborhoods and people called the paper saying they hadn't heard about the zoning changes. I had to inform the callers that this issue had been discussed in the paper for many months, and the best way to know what was happening